Yo, we back. Business is
Oh,
booming. Episode 6. It's your boy Graphk Raider with my little brother B. We back at it, man. How you been, bro?
doing good, brother. Doing good, man. Just ready for the season already, brother.
Oh man. You know how I know you ready for it?
How's that?
Because every episode, that's how you started off with. That's how I know you
Yeah.
ready.
That's all I
Straight
can
up.
think. That's all I
Hey,
can think about, man.
I know, bro. I feel you. I feel you to the utmost, man. Well, there's a lot going on. We're gonna jump right into it, man. A lot going on in the nation right now, man. We are in the news left and right. Um, it has been said that we have extended a contract out to Jadeveon Clowney. We are one of, I believe, three teams that's after him right now. Seattle's still in the mix. Tennessee's still in the mix. It looks like Cleveland dropped out now. They had the highest bid, but they also just restructured Oliver Vernon, the other defensive ends, contract. So it looks like he's going to be there for the long term. So that pretty much takes them out out the bidding, out the war. You know what I'm saying? But Jadeveon Clowney, man. I made a few videos about this in the past where I thought it was a long, long, long shot, but
Mhm.
I think that he would be great just because he's probably the best defensive end against the rush. Him and Mac, I mean, bar none, are the best against the run. But the problem is he can't get to the QB as much as a Khalil, which nobody can. But a former number one pick, man. He's been dealt with some issues. He has a core injury. He's had other issues health wise. But man, he can literally transform our defense into something that would be insane, man. Um,
100%.
just because the sacks don't add up, do not take him lightly. He is very chaotic in the pass rush game still. He may not get to the quarterback, but that quarterback is running for his life on every play. Um, what's your thoughts, man? Clowney, man, Jadeveon Clowney. And let me say one more thing. One more thing, brother. We only have about $8 million right now. We haven't signed any of our rookies yet. We'd have to work out a super twist. But it's said that Gruden wants him really, really bad. And Mayock and Mark Davis, they're not trying to budge with their price that they've already gave out. But usually what Chucky wants, Chucky gets. I mean, you give him a 10-year deal for a reason, right? So
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on this?
So first things first, I think he's the most sought after free agent out there, period, right now. He's probably the best talent when healthy, hands down.
Yes.
And like you're saying, about his pass rush, I know he's not getting a lot of sacks. He's only at 9.5 sacks. It's been his best season, but
Yeah.
he's very disruptive, in the passing game as well. I don't think that the sacks necessarily, equate. And I haven't looked at QB rushes or, anything like that. But I would bet that, he grades at least decently high, when it comes to that. I do think that if we picked him up, it would definitely solidify our defensive front. It would be extremely interesting just to see what the rotation is going to be. Who's going to play where, right? You got Clowney on the end, you got maybe Max on the end. Okay, you got Mo and Collins in the middle. So are we going to rotate Clee in the middle too, or is he just going to be rotated on the outside?
He would do both. He would
Yeah,
do both. At Clemson,
yeah,
he did both.
yeah,
And we did a little bit last year with him, I believe, as well. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, yeah.
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it would just be interesting. I mean, it'd be a great pickup. You know what I mean? I wasn't a big fan of the whole Mac trade, but at the time,
Yeah.
now I see it, and it makes more sense. But don't get me wrong. I think Matt Max had a great rookie campaign.
Yeah.
But Mac was a different monster. You know what I mean? And so I'm not gonna say that Clowney's necessarily on Mac's level. 'Cause I think Mac's Mac. It's like Mac and Aaron Donald.
Oh yeah, that's it.
And maybe Von Miller you can kind of throw in there. Those are probably the three best defensive linemen in the league. But Clowney's, I would say, probably somewhere, you know, if not right after them, maybe a couple players right after them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be an impact move. So you know, I'd love to pick him up. I don't when it comes to salary cap, I don't know who they're going to restructure, if they're going to try to, you know, trade, you know, Gabe Jackson, or try to restructure,
Joyner.
you know, or trade Joyner, or trade
Tyrell.
I don't know what they're gonna do, right? But or just try to restructure people's deals. You know, I don't know how they're gonna do it or what they're gonna do, but I know it would be a definite impact, you know, move, and he's instantly. It doesn't matter whether he goes to the Raiders or not, right? Like anywhere he goes, he's gonna make the defensive front four better, and it may be one of those situations where, you know, if Mad Max can, you know, have if we can bring him in, and then if Mad Max has another year, a good sophomore season, it may give Clowney some more looks, and or it may give Max some more looks, right? If you got two solid defensive ends, I mean, it's the 1-2 punch, you know what I mean? And so that's gonna make
and then you got two other, you know what I'm saying, solid defensive ends that can rotate. When you got Nassib that can come in for Mad Max, you got Klee that can come in for Jadeveon Clowney, and even if Clowney gets hurt again, which God forbid, you got Klee that can come back in and start, and that takes a lot of pressure off of Arden Key. At the end of the day, this may be one or two things for him. It may just be the sign that he's just done, or it may be, you know what, come in slowly but surely. You'll be, you know what I mean? Let's groom him a little more, because I mean, don't get me wrong, Key's been there, I believe 3 years now. He hasn't shown any signs of real life. I mean, let's be honest.
At least 2 years. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, if they add him, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with him. But yeah, I mean, we'll have tons of depth. I mean, and you know I kind of alluded to this on one of our last videos, just talking about, you know, defensive line play. And I think if we add him, I mean, I already like our defensive line as it is. You know what I mean? I already like it. But if we add him,
It's dynamic.
It's very dynamic at that point, and there's a lot of depth. And, you know, kind of like what I said before, if we can get pressure on quarterbacks, if we're winning at the line of scrimmage on defense, period, it's going to make everything click.
It is.
You know, from our DBs to our linebackers, it's going to make everything better. So, you know, I'm going to kind of stick with that, and I'm curious to see the production of our defensive line and how these guys, you know, these rookies develop and these younger guys develop, and just how our defensive line just does in general. So, and kind of go ahead.
No, the good thing about this situation is two things. Okay, the only problem I have with our defense right now is depth on our D-line. That's it. I think that's our only weakness defensively. We upgraded at every other position. Mm-hmm. But just to be able to throw a contract at Jadeveon lets me know that Gruden he's not sold so far on that D-line. And I'm not even meaning the interior, the outside. That just, at least that lets me know that he's reaching out. He wants another player. He wants somebody out there that can come in and go hard. That lets me know that if we can't get him, we can go get a Deion Jordan. We can go get somebody else, maybe a Everson Griffin. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see it, but this just lets me know that Gruden's not done with our D-line. And that's just great to see, because for me, since day one, that's been our weakness. It's just depth. I believe in Klee and I believe in Mad Max. But after that, you got Nassib, and then that's it. I mean, Key has not proven nothing. So at the end of the day, we need some help there. It's just good to see Chucky, man, throwing his hat, you know what I'm saying, in the race and saying, you know what, we want this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, wouldn't it be crazy, bro, that we get the number one draft pick in the draft that we got Khalil Mack in?
Yeah, funny, right? And that would be kind of going full circle, right? I mean,
but for half the price.
Yeah, I know. That would be a trip. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just curious to see if there's enough intrigue. Like, is he really – like, is he – I don't think we're going to be able to offer him a max deal like he's wanting $20 million a year or something like that. He's
not going to get that, because if he would have got that, he would have already gotten it. Cleveland already threw the most money at him. He denied it. He didn't want it. So that lets you know that it wasn't all about the money, at least. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way you can hold out. Why would you hold out? Take the highest bid now. Why hold out during the coronavirus? Like during this pandemic, they can't even get you in to look at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the time that he needs to strike. If anything, if you're worried about these injuries, sign that contract now, because teams can't even bring you in. You know what I'm saying? Like, apparently there's one team today, I believe it's the Titans, that said they're still interested, but they would have to bring him in, to check his health out, which is understandable. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, you can't bring him in. So what do you do?
I mean, I would think that any team's going to want to, I don't know how it works exactly, but I would think that any team's going to want to, at least do some type of physical, right?
Well, put it like this, bro. Behind the scenes, you know how this shit go. You know that somebody's sending out their doctor to wherever Jadeveon is to get him checked out. It's just behind the scenes. That's just how this thing go. He just can't go to the headquarters.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is cool because this works into our second portion of the show. Jadeveon Clowney. Well, let me ask you one more thing. Do you want Jadeveon Clowney right now? If we could have him right now, would you be willing to get rid? Would you be willing to get rid of a Joyner, a Tyrell, a Gabe, or restructure a Trent Brown contract? That would be the ideal situation.
Obviously, the ideal situation would be to keep the core people in and restructure, right? Because I like what we got going in, to Vegas. Yeah, regardless, I want him, right? Like he's that kind of talent. So if you gotta potentially get rid of like a player or two, probably two players, it may be worth it. It just depends on really which player it is. Like I said, I'd like to just restructure, so, a couple people's contracts to be able to bring him in and maybe get him on like maybe a 2-year deal with a second-year option. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely want him. He's gonna. Like I said, any team he goes to, he's gonna impact immediately.
Yeah. And we can both agree that it's great to see Chucky being this aggressive. It's our first year going into Vegas. He wants to win now. We have a team, man, that we're building. We can win right now, man.
If you think about it too, because he's like an offensive-minded, dude, right?
Yeah.
The fact that he's willing to, he's putting a contract out for a guy on defense, that does show that, he's serious about defense, about improving that defense to help his offense out. At the end of the day, if our defense, week in and week out is letting another team score 24 points, it's going to be, hard to win games all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
straight up. I agree 100%, brother. There's also another reason why we would need a Jadeveon Clowney. Patrick Mahomes is going to be in our division another 12 years. $503 million contract potentially. $45 million a year. And let's be honest, as a Raider fan, he's worth every penny.
Yeah.
Let's also be honest, I've done a video on it, but every year the salary cap goes up. So $45 million in 2 years may be a steal. You know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. Right now it's going to affect the salary cap drastically.
The thing is, it's like Carr a couple years ago when he got the highest contract ever, right? And then now we're looking at it a couple years later. I think he's getting paid $20 million this year. Yeah. And now we're looking at Mahomes, right? And he's going to be getting 45. So it's like now at the time we're looking at Carr like, damn, when he first signed his contract, like, damn, like, that's a lot,
Yeah.
And so now we're looking at it like, now you look at it and you're like, oh, 20 million a year versus 45. That guy's more than doubling, you know what I mean? What Carr's getting. Now, mind you, Mahomes is a special talent, right? There's no denying that. I really do like him as a player. Obviously, I don't really care for the Chiefs all that much. You know what I mean? Them being
No. We hate them. Period.
Yeah, exactly. I don't fuck with the Chiefs at all. But
we're realistic.
Yeah. But Mahomes as a as a person and as a player, I like the way he plays. You know what I mean? And he's a special talent, right? So he deserves it. Now, what's going to be interesting, obviously, is how is this going to hinder the team, moving forward when people need to get, their contracts going? Is it going to affect, other players long term to where, it maybe hinders the franchise as a whole? I don't know. That's remain to be seen. But I think a plus side for us, we kind of should have been doing this anyway because I know he had 2 years left on his contract. But now that he's going to be there for 12 years instead of 2 years, now you get to kind of look, and he doesn't have a lot of flaws in his game, right? But now that we're going to be seeing him for the next decade plus, you need to start looking. I feel like whoever the defensive coordinator is going to need to start looking into certain games where he was struggling a little bit more than he was in other games, right? And try to figure out what his weaknesses are. And I know he's got a crazy, arm talent. He contorts his body in crazy ways. Throws sidearm. He does some of the shit that he does. The no look passes. I mean, it's just it's off the chains. It's crazy. He's balling, balling out of control. But he has to have a kryptonite, right? So it's like, what is that? And trying to study the film of what does bother him and what does get to him. Yeah. And so now, that we should have been doing it anyways.
I'll tell you this though, our corners the past 3 or 4 years, maybe even longer than that, they weren't kryptonite at all. You know what I'm saying? So I think us upgrading that secondary in the offseason is gonna help us a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like at the end of the day, I don't think it's like the Jordan effect. And I'm not trying to say Mahomes is Michael Jordan at all. But you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. At the end of the day, if you can hold him to 25 points and we can put up 30 on him, we're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? It just comes down to, is Carr going to do his thing on offense with all those weapons he got now? And can our defense just hold up? Look at the last 2 times we played him, man. Or one of those games last year, we shut him down completely a whole half. And then it just got ugly. You know what I'm saying?
I think it was like a quarter and a half, right? I think we were up like 10-0.
That third quarter, ugly.
I just remember we were up like 10-0 at one point, and then I think it was maybe last year.
It was last year.
And then in like one quarter, he had like 200 yards and like two touchdowns or 3 something crazy in one quarter. It was like somebody's stats for what they get in the game. Yeah. He got it in a quarter.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's crazy. So I think the best way, obviously, probably to contain him is to play good offense, like on our side of the ball. Run a lot.
Offense.
Yeah. It's like run a lot, keep, our time of possession in our hands, and keep him on the sidelines, wear that defense down, and try to
keep our defense fresh.
Yeah, and keep our defense fresh, exactly. And so I think that's going to be the only way you're going to, because when you watch that game, the AFC Championship last year with the Texans, and the Texans were up like 24-0 in the second quarter, I'm thinking like I was like, damn. But at the same time, I was like, you know what? I don't know, man. And then all of a sudden they come back like 53 unanswered points or something like that. 24 to 50. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they're the truth.
Yeah.
Like, they're the truth. You know what I mean? And so
that's that Kobe, that's that Jordan, that's that LeBron effect. Like, you can never have a comfortable lead against somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's why you have to play every second of that football game, because it's just you're gonna end up losing the game if you just let up a few plays and it's a wrap.
Really, you got to move the chains, right? You got to keep the time of possession on your side, especially if you get a lead. Like, if you get a lead and it's a significant lead, we're talking 2 touchdowns plus on them. At that point, if you got the ball back, you want to run and you want to move chains, right? Like, you like period.
This is the first for this show, bro. My bad. I got to get my charger.
It's all good.
Hold on real quick. You can keep talking though, brother. I'm listening.
Yeah, bro. So just I think the best defensive, best defense against him is just good offense for the other team and keeping the ball out of his hands. If you end up somehow getting the league, just keep moving the chains, right? Don't punt the ball back. Don't give him the opportunity to get that momentum. It's like in-game momentum. If you give him that in-game momentum, he's going to take advantage of it. And so, I guess just trying to study, what some of his weaknesses are. Obviously, there's not a lot. Trying to come up with the game, like a specific game plan for him, which is probably going to be hard to do.
Yeah, most definitely.
And, if you're in a battle with him, you're going to have to keep the score up, right? Because they could put up points and just, constantly move the chains on your side of the ball when you have the ball. Keep the fucking ball out of his hands. But
$503 million, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. I mean, congrats to him. You know what I mean? And he deserves it. I mean, he's baller.
The highest paid athlete now. Period. Yeah, that's the biggest contract ever.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw 10 years, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because in football, you usually get like, max is usually like a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I've seen maybe a couple 6 or 7-year deals. I don't even think I've ever seen a 10-year deal, bro.
Well, when you have a generational talent like that, bro, you gotta lock him down.
I'm not mad at him at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like when I saw that, I was like, whoa. I was kind of like, whoa. And now he's resetting the bar for other quarterbacks in the league. Now, mind you, do I think that other quarterbacks in the league have the talent that he has? No. But, like, anytime these new quarterbacks get the record-setting deals, it kind of recalibrates the bar for all the other quarterbacks in the league, right? Yeah. Now, they can't compare to Mahomes because they don't have his kind of talent. But it's
my bad, bro. I'm having all kind of problems tonight, bro.
Bro, I'm not even stressing. We're gonna keep this shit rolling.
Yeah, straight up.
So it kind of resets the bar for all these other quarterbacks. You know what I mean? And just keeps driving the price of these contracts up for all these quarterbacks and general managers and owners. So
yeah. Well, we're gonna be facing this young man for another 12 years. We got to get it together. We got to get it together quick, man. Quick. Because that's tough, man. For real. But congratulations to that young man. I hope y'all go 0-16. But you know what I'm saying? But hey, get your money, young man. You know what I'm saying? On another note, man, happy birthday. It was July 4th to the late man, to the GOAT, Al Davis, man. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff he's done, for the league, for our team in general. We had to I did a video also on that, man, just shouting him out, speaking on a few of his accomplishments. We ain't got to go there because as Raider fans, we know what they are. But man, just shout out to the GOAT, Al, man. I'm telling you, man, right now, you would be very proud of your son, man. He got us in a real good position right now. He got us in a new home. Man. Al, man.
I mean, 100% shout out to Al, man. I mean, pioneer, innovator, maverick style, did a lot of things, not only for the Raiders organization, but, for the league, commissioner, head coach, obviously owner.
General manager, assistant coach, everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, what he's done for the organization obviously is, it speaks for itself. But, a lot of people don't realize, I know a lot of people in the nation do, but I think people outside of the nation, they don't realize what he's done for the league, And so, I mean, a lot of innovation, a lot of, I know he would bring in, troubled players, you know what I mean? And that were having troubles, you know, maybe personal troubles or whatever going on, you know, and bring them in and bring them into the culture and take them in like they were family, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
straight
they,
up.
you know, restart their careers, you know. It was one of those things where if you played good football, you know, and as long as you know, had respect for him, you were good in his book, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
And he
And he
created
commended,
and he,
that kind of respect, right? Like
yeah.
a lot of people talk about that. Like he commended that kind of respect when, you know, when he's walking onto the field, right? And so
Yeah.
that just says a lot.
And we're one of the only teams, man, that we really mean that. Like once a Raider, always a Raider. I mean,
Oh yeah,
with the exception of maybe a Randy Moss, a Warren Sapp, maybe a Richard Seymour, they're maybe the only three players where we're like, you know, they came and got Jamarcus Russell as well. You know, they got their bag and they did it moving. But
yeah,
you know, just the mantra, man, just the mystique, you know what I mean? Just everything of the Raiders was all Al. It was all Al's concept. You know what I mean? It was made in the image of what Al seen it as. You know what I mean? So for us to have literally easiest, the most just loyal, love football more than any owner I can ever think of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the dude literally played. I mean, he coached, he did everything. You know what I'm saying? So to have an owner like that, man, literally to have it's a blessing, man. You know what I'm saying? And
oh yeah.
you know, we miss you, Al. Your son is doing real good right now, man. Marcus holding that torch down. You know what I'm saying? And one more time, man, happy belated birthday to the GOAT, Al Davis. Just
Happy
win,
belated,
baby. Hopefully we win this year, man, and we do it up for you. You know what I mean?
100%.
Got a question for you real quick, bro, before we head out here in a couple seconds. Been a long week, man. Tired, got work, babies running around like maniacs. You already know how it go, bro.
Yep.
What position battle are you looking forward to most in training camp? You know, we picked up a lot of new, just everywhere, new receivers, new linebackers, new corners, a new safety. We grabbed a few offensive linemen. Our tight end room has about 40 people. I mean, what do you think right now? We even upgraded at backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So, what is the battle right now that you look forward to most coming up in training camp?
Defensive line, hands down. You know, I said this in another video. I'm just curious on who's going to be starting, who's going to be in rotation, and how it's going to translate on the field. You know, that's the most intriguing positions. You know,
what part the most? Is it the interior? Is it the outside? What are you looking at, or is it just as a whole?
Just as a whole, man, because I just feel like we got a lot of versatility, you know, especially if we pick up Clowney. But even if we don't pick him up, right? Like we got a lot of versatility within the line.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to see like if Mo Hurst is gonna step up, how Collins is gonna do on the inside, right? PJ Hall coming in, rotating, right?
Hankins.
You know, yeah. You know, and then on the outside you got, you know, obviously Mad Max and Nasib and Key, and you got Clee. And so I'm just curious to see how those boys are going to do. And then we picked up Marinelli, right? I liked Buckner, you know, last year. I understand why we picked up, you know, Rob Marinelli.
Yeah.
So that's the most intriguing like position battle in training camp. And that's just the most intriguing like unit that I'm going to be focused on a lot this year. You know what I mean? Obviously, I want to see the offense do good and stuff like that. I think in order to even try to contain Patrick Mahomes or try to get to him, it's going to start right there in the defensive front. And so I'm most curious about that.
I'm going to go with a position that if your choice doesn't show up, we're going to be asked out. I'm going to go with the secondary. I'm going to go with our cornerback position.
Okay.
I'm intrigued by that slot, man. I really feel like if we say we got rid of Joyner and we brought in Jadeveon, I feel like we're doing that because they have that much just they're looking at Robertson is just that next guy. You got to be a little patient with him. He's a rookie. We haven't even made it into training camp yet, so we don't really know what he has. But on tape, man, this dude is a beast, man. I mean, I know down the line, you know, Joyner had a rough season last year. I mean, preferably he shows up this year in the slot, and then you know, we have Akeem come in and slowly but surely learn, and then we take all that money off the books the following year. But I'm also intrigued to see what Arnett and Prince. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Prince is already our number 2 guy off bat when we signed him, but Arnett's going to battle with him.
You think he's number 2? You think Mullins number 1, like solid number 1, hands down?
Mullins number 1, hands down.
I was thinking
Prince?
No, Prince was gonna come in and maybe take over that number 1 spot. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
he's gonna be. Nah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? I know he was I know he's a little bit. I think he's getting a little bit older. I believe, right?
Yeah. I believe 30, 31, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe he's lost a step or something. I haven't watched honestly too much of his tape, but yeah, man. I mean, if you think about it, you know, with him, with Mullen, and then with Arnett, those are three solid, you know, corners, you know, on paper at least, right there. And then you got Robertson, right? I think he's gonna be, because he's a little bit of a smaller dude, right?
Yeah, he's like 5'10",
5'9", bro.
5'8", 5'9". Yeah,
bro. So I see him guarding the, you know, Julian Edelman kind of like smaller slot, like so kind of receivers, right? And he's a hitter too, which, you know, I like that. Yes. So honestly, that's a pretty good position battle to pick. You know, because just the corners, right? Just the corners, like on paper, there's a lot of depth, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at it like this. You say Trayvon's number 1. Say Prince is number 2, or you flip flop. It doesn't matter. You got Arnett coming in. You got, let's not forget Isaiah Johnson, man. This guy was a beast in college. You know, he's battled with injuries since we drafted him. But the dude is solid, man. I'm telling you, man. I watched him in college. Dude's a beast. Then, you know, we got a couple other guys, man, that can come in and do a few things too. We got
Joyner. Well, you got
Joyner. You got Joyner in the slot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he can play free safety or slot, right? And then, I mean, and then you got on the back end, you still got Harris playing, you know, free safety, you know, strong safety, and you know, and
he'll be coming off the bench though. It's going to be.
I'm saying he's depth.
Yeah, for sure.
He's depth, and then you got Abrams. Obviously, if he can, you know, return, stay healthy, and you know, and play as, you know, I think a lot of people in the nation are, you know, expecting him to play.
Yeah.
And then maybe like our defensive backfield just may be solid. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I mean, there's even other guys. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm looking right now. I always forget homie last name. That's why I had to go look. But I mean, even then we also didn't mention you know, Demarius Randall, you know what I'm saying, that we got over from Cleveland. You know, he's going to be a starter in the secondary, him and Abrams together. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, I see us playing. I think I do remember us signing him during the offseason. I see us playing a lot of like nickel and dime packages, right? Where we're having 5, 6, you know, defensive backs on the field. And that's kind of what I think the league, you know, is gone to, you know, just in general, you know, kind of with the spread and with these West Coast, like, you know, offenses where, you know, it's a pass heavy fucking game nowadays. Yeah. I think honestly, like kind of the, you know, I'm not going to say every down, but like a lot of the defenses have kind of transformed into more hybrid, like dime and nickel looks, where that's like their base defense. Right. And so us having that depth in the defensive backfield, you know, and you know, and you bringing that up, you know, watching the defensive backfield, you know, the battle, and seeing how these guys, you know, come out. I mean, on paper it looks good.
And we have a lot of depth at that position as well. Like also, I was looking at, and this is who I was talking about. Shout out to my guy, Keyshawn Nixon. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch him out of with South Carolina. Beast, man. You know what I'm saying? Then we also grabbed Nevin Lawson, which is with Detroit a few years back. We got some depth. I mean, don't get me wrong, those guys aren't starting caliber NFL corners by any stretch of imagination right now. But it's good to have some guys right there in another year in the same system, you know what I'm saying? And they can back up all these guys we have. But I'm really looking to see. My thing is I want to see where Robertson and where Arnett are in year one, because you got Prince over there. He's proven, and Trayvon had a great rookie season. He's only going to get better. So just seeing how those guys fit into this system is going to be crazy.
I was going to say, I like having young, like defensive, like backs in general and like corners, like, because I feel like in this league with the receivers that there are nowadays, they're so athletic. They're strong, they're fast, right? And so you got to have young corners who have the speed, who have that athleticism, who have that versatility, who can, play man or,
all of it. They got to be able to do everything.
They got to be able
to play zone. You got to play zone. You got to play man. You got to learn. You have to do it all.
I legitimately think probably, bro, cornerback is probably the hardest position to play. Yes. Maybe outside of quarter, obviously people, when you're a quarterback, you got to know the offensive playbook and you got to know everything. But maybe outside of quarterback, bro, I think cornerback is the hardest position, period. Especially with how they penalize, with the refs calling all these fouls and with the talent that they're dealing on the other side of the ball with these receivers and how talented they are, how fast, how strong, how versatile they are. I mean, that's the hardest position, period. So it's like
I'm gonna say corner is the toughest, period. I know quarterback is very tough. Don't get me wrong. The quarterback is the heart, is the brain of the unit. But
operation.
They have a line that protects them. You know what I'm saying? The corners, you got some safeties back there, but if you get burned, more than likely them boys getting burnt too. You know what I'm saying? So I think corner. I think the way, like, you're playing against guys that's 6'5", then ranging from Tyrell Williams size down to Tyreek. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough, man. You don't know what you're facing different guys every week. It's rough.
That's what I'm saying. Think about, let's say you're facing Julio Jones. I think he's 6'5". I don't know. He probably weighs 230 or 200,
Easy.
225 pounds, 6'5", he's probably got a crazy fucking vertical, fast, runs routes like a beast. I mean, and then, another week you're playing, another, all pro fucking, it's like every week you're going to be playing, against a fucking all pro, or if not an all pro, somebody who's looking to fucking make a name for themselves. Right. And so,
I mean, look at it like this. If you're
passing league, bro, like it's a passing league.
Period. If you're Trayvon, you're playing the number one wide receiver. You're guarding the number one wide receiver every week for 16 weeks straight. That's very tough.
That's a heavy weight to put on somebody's shoulders.
Yes, right? Yes. That's why when you see these guys go out and get that bag, get those big contracts, they deserve it, man. I know years back, with Namdi, he was great. Shut down corner with us. Went to Philly, was terrible. It's a system.
I was gonna say, like in Oakland, we were playing a lot of more man, and when he went to Philly, they were playing a lot more zone schemes, right? And so it's like, it's like, for example, with Sherman, right? Like, he plays, I believe it's on the left side only, and like he's better on the left side, and he knows he has a system. So like some of these corners, right? They're just better at certain things than others. It's hard to come across a good corner, like a solid, like the Shermans, the Darrell Reeveses, the
Charles Woodsons.
The Charles Woodson, right? I'm speaking of more recently, but it's hard to come across just that guy for corner. And if you do,
the key to leaves a few years ago.
Exactly. The Jalen Ramseys and shit like that.
Jalen Ramseys,
So it's like you get those kind of dudes, you want to hold on to them. So right now, man, like our defense just in general, bro, on paper, like even our offense, bro, like on paper, we look really good right now.
Straight up.
Is it gonna translate on the field? That's what I'm most curious about. Just period. But on paper, like I'm real with the depth chart we got and with all the guys we got. Like I'm pretty excited, man. We're young. We're building through the draft. You know, these guys are developing. You know, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see where we go with this, man.
Yeah. So. One more little highlight real quick. I know we talked about it a little bit off cam. David Carr, man, said that he believes that Hunter Renfrow is going to lead the league this year in receiving TDs. That's a lot. That's a lot to put on a second-year guy. But he says that he believes that because of the rapport that he's built with Carr. Let's be honest, man. The second half of last year, Hunter went off. You know, they kind of let him do his thing, and it worked. First few weeks, kind of a little nerve-wracking, but, you know, that's what happens when you're a rookie. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of feel it out a little bit. I know Tyrell was going crazy the first 4 weeks, so it's kind of tough to even get Hunter kind of going in that offense. But what's your thoughts on that, man? Is that a very is that something hard to throw on a receiver, a slot receiver in the second year? Well, what do you think about that?
Yeah, one, it's a lot to put on him. Two, I would love for that to happen, right? If that happens, I'm gonna be a happy man.
Yeah.
In all reality, do I think it's gonna happen? No, I don't. Like, I don't believe he's gonna get the most TDs in the league. Yeah. It's a long shot. Would I love for that to happen? I would.
Yeah.
Could I see him maybe getting the most TDs out of like a number 3 wide receiver, like out of the slots, you know, and like a true number 3 or a true slot receiver, you know, in the league?
Yeah.
That's a little bit more realistic, right?
Definitely, most definitely.
But when we're talking in the league, I mean, we're talking Hopkins, we're talking Julio Jones.
Yeah.
We're talking, you know, everybody else who's, you know, every wide receiver in the league. So I feel like that's setting the bar a little bit too high for him. If it happens, I would be happy. Do I think it's going to happen? I think it's a long shot.
I think that it's, you know, it's a very long shot, but it's great to know that Carr, you know, has that kind of belief, you know what I'm saying, has that trust in him. I feel like they're gonna grow a lot together this year. So I know that's gonna be his security blanket. When you got Hunter, when you got Henry Ruggs and you got Tyrell on the outside, and you know you're playing against a team that has 2 great corners, you got to find Renfrow, you got to find Waller. Only reason I don't say that, I don't agree with him, is because I think we have other guys that's going to be even more bigger in the red zone, in our red zone offense. I feel like Foster Moreau is going to be huge, just like he was last year. I think Waller's going to be huge. I think that Brian Edwards, if he gets some play, you know, he's always been that 50-50 guy, you know, off ball guy in college. I mean, we have a lot of guys that we can go to in that red zone.
You got Bowden too. That's what I'm saying. There's so many weapons.
Yeah. I don't see it. I don't see it.
If he got 8 touchdowns, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like if he got 8 touchdowns, I think he got 4 last year. If he doubled his production, I would be like, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, that's solid. Leading the league, I mean, I would be, don't get me wrong, I'd be happy as fuck. I would be happy. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of weapons, bro. Like, we got a lot of weapons, and
it's gonna be hard to get everybody that ball. It's gonna be hard to get everybody that ball. But
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I see Cars. I do see him getting some touches, and I do see him moving the chains. Yeah. I see him, you know, third down. You know, we need that play, that for sure catch. I see him doing that. I see him.
He is our third down guy for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I could see him making clutch, you know, touchdown catches, and you know, I could see him doing some clutch shit. Don't get me wrong on that. Like, I can see him, you know, making some, you know, being a safety blanket and being a dependable target for Carr that he can count on and feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the most touchdowns in the whole league, I think it's a long shot.
It's a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a stretch. I would love to see it though. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a lot to put on.
I think that Renfro's going to be a great, and when I mean great, I think he's going to be a great receiver in this league.
Oh yeah, for years to come.
Watching him, I went to the Texans game last year in Houston. When he ran off and broke off for that 60, I think it was a 60-yarder, and just to see how he breaks, like Hunter Renfrow doesn't do anything like great. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, man. Like he just knows how to play football. You know what I'm saying?
He's like fundamentally sound.
Fundamental guy. It's like, and I don't want to go as far as saying it, but like a Tim Duncan. It's kind of, you watch him, it's boring, but the dude knows what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, 100%. It's that fundamental.
Fundamental guy, man. So, David Carr, man, I hope that you're right. Shit, that'd be great. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's going to be a few receivers on our team that's probably going to have more receiving touchdowns than him alone. So, but we'll see. Only time will tell. Shout out to Hunter Renfrow, man, and shout out to David Carr for that. Man, that'd be a wonderful thing, man. I want to see Hunter shine, man. I want to see him shine. He's a good kid, and he was worth that draft pick. I promise you that. You know what I mean? But man, this is week 6. A little slow week, kind of, and this is still the slow time in football right now, man. We're still waiting on training camp to come up in the next 2-3 weeks. So 3 weeks, I believe. We're gonna be back at it a little more. We're gonna have a lot more to talk about, barring that this pandemic just continues to just shut shit down. But man. I mean, outside of the Jadeveon Clowney thing, that was really big for us, man. I hope that we really go get that guy.
It's gonna be big if we sign him. I'm ready for us to sign him, bro. I'm gonna be juiced.
Take it from me, Clowney. I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Nashville. I've been to Seattle. I've been to Cleveland. I've been to all them places. Vegas is way better than all of them, and it's tax free, brother. Pull up.
100%.
But yeah, man, the views expressed here are Graphk Podcast. It's Graphk Raider, my little brother B. You know what I'm saying? This is Business is Zoomin episode 6. We took a week off, but trust and believe we will be back next week with episode 7. And we're going to have a couple surprises coming up. We're going to have some new things in the works. We're going to even add a few people into the conversations, man, so we can get other, inputs and stuff, man. We're going to turn this Zoom into a whole RaiderNation Zoom where we get other podcasters and we get other people involved. You know what I'm saying? So be on the lookout for us, man. And follow me on Instagram at GRAPHK916 and on Twitter at GRAPHK What's your IG, brother?
My IG right now is just at Brandon.Hibbert, and that's HIBBERT.
Yeah.
Follow me. I'll be posting a lot of Raider content. I know me and Graphk planning on heading to Vegas.
Yeah, a couple times in these next few months.
Yeah. As soon as the season starts, planning on going out there and networking with the whole nation. So I'm looking forward to meeting all you guys, and we're gonna keep the content coming. And when the season gets up and running, I know we're gonna be doing, right after the games, we're gonna be doing live.
Yes. Yes.
Going over the game, you know what I mean? So
live recaps.
Yeah, live recaps.
Live everything. And it's only a matter of time. We both gonna be living in Vegas soon. Yep. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, so, that's the next move. That's the next move. So
I'm looking at January. I don't know when you're looking, but
I'm looking at 2021 too. That's kind of like that's what I'm leaning towards right now. So
hey, Vegas, we on our way. The Raiders go, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
But yeah, man, we love y'all nation. We out, man. We gonna catch y'all next week, man. Yee.